Hi everyone, Susie here. I garden in Minnesota and I thought I would take you on my plant room tour in February. Not a whole lot going on right now. We definitely have a cold spell we're in. It was minus 18 degrees Fahrenheit this morning and it doesn't seem like we're going to be getting out of those temps for about a week. I'm hoping. But that's okay. It's February. Spring is around the corner. Thinking happy thoughts here. So in this tour, I thought I would just go over the cuttings that I had taken. So far it's been going really good. I have some issues, and then also I've done some perennial seeds and also some plants that I brought in to overwinter. So if you're not familiar with my plant room, it's in my garage. This is the only window in my garage, so a very low light in here, which is why I have lights all over the place, plus row light stations. So definitely a light issue going on, but it's been working out. I really like growing in my garage because I can make a mess and not worry about it. So this plant here is Tahitian bridal veil. There we go. And I brought this in September and I completely forgot to water it. I would say about a month. So I gave it a really drastic haircut, watered it, and it's bounced back beautifully. I love Tahitian bridal veil. This plant will be coming back out in May. I just have to harden it off first. But look how long that's grown. Love, love, love that plant. It is messy, so it's not one that I would have in my house. I have a dog. Down here I have some geranium cuttings I am water propagating. It's been about a week, so nothing yet. That's a little too soon. I just have a bunch of mason jars, so that's how I water propagate. And I broke off a branch, that's why it's in there. Otherwise I would have waited a little bit. The other thing I've been doing, I'm a little crazy, but anytime that there's been ladybugs in my house, I've been bringing them out and putting them in my plant room. So hopefully to help control the fungus gnats and anything else. This cute little dude. This was one of my first lights that I had gotten to start seeds. It is a T5 fluorescent light bulb, very hot. If you touch it, you'll burn yourself. I've burnt foliage, so I do have to be careful, but it is super bright. I really like this light. These are just wandering Jew cuttings I have in this fruit holder, and I just keep taking lots of cuttings from this. And Tradescantia wandering Jew is the easiest plant to propagate. It's just, love it. And I have it all over. You will see. Down here is Diamond Frost Euphorbia. I also brought this in and wanted to see if I could get it to overwinter, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It has not stopped blooming. I did up-pot it, and it seems to be doing really well. I barely have to water this. So this is also another one that will be going back outside. Very messy, that one too. So that is why I like being in my garage. I can just make a mess and not worry about it. Over here I wrapped this twine around this turquoise plastic pot. I didn't like the turquoise color. And then I have a bunch of wandering Jew cuttings in here. I also made this pole, put it in here. I was hoping that I can get this to train it to go up. We'll see what happens. I just keep taking cuttings, so it's probably not going to get any taller than this. But it might be one where I take these out and put something else in there. But yeah, I love taking cuttings. When I'm pinching plants, instead of getting rid of it, I just try and root it. For the most part, it works. And more. I have 5 in this container. I'm not sure where I'm going to put that. I just can't help myself. I've been adding other things in here just to make it a little bit more homier. I'm out here a lot, so I just want to make it more kind of like a living space and less like a grow room. It might be a little bit much, but I like it. And this grow light stand here I got from Amazon, and I like it. Super bright, really helps brighten up this area, but it's super tippy, so I have to be careful. More wandering Jew up here. Lots of cuttings in this pot. It's just a plastic pot. I reuse everything. So we'll see how this goes. I think it'll like this spot because it's in front of the window, and I'm hoping by May it's just lush and beautiful and cascading down. Maybe. Like I said, I have lots of wandering Jew. So over here, this is where I had all my coleus, and I had to move things around because it's just not fitting anymore. They're getting super tall. So yeah, they're looking good. They're just not so much at the base, but again, when you have this much foliage at the top, it's kind of shading that out. And they've been grown for 5 months. It's just, they're all root bound, so it is time. This poor coleus looked beautiful, and then it just had transplant shock. It was root bound, so I'm just doing a test. All of this is brand new growth. It's taken about a month, so that's why these are all my mother plants. And look, more. I can't help myself. I really can't. So I have family and friends that like this plant, so I'm hoping I can grow some for them. That would be really neat. So these grow light stations, I got this shelving station at Walmart along with the light, so it's not a whole set. I just kind of had to piece it together. But it works. These lights are not hot, so I don't have to worry about it burning the foliage of my plants or me, and it doesn't give off a whole lot of heat. They are LED. I think they're daylight 5,000 kelvins, and they work. And that is the way I'm going to go. Because I have 2 of those. I'm thinking about getting 1 more. I do have some yellow sticky tape, and I don't have a whole lot of that anymore. I think the ladybugs are doing their job, but also I have some big spiders that are just hanging around in here, and I think they're doing it too. I just have to be careful when testing the soil for dampness because I've stuck my fingers in the webs, and like I said, the spiders can do what they want to do, but just don't bother me. More coleus back there. They have not put on a lot of growth. They look nice, but they've kind of stopped growing. They're starting to bloom. That just tells me they are ready to be. More cuttings. Potted on, I don't know. Love this coleus. I don't know the name of it, but just absolutely love that. These are the geraniums that I have propagating. I just have one kind, and they do grow like this because they're an ivy geranium. And I have more cuttings down here. They're so tall. So we'll see what happens. I might have to take cuttings a little bit sooner than I want, but I just don't want to lose any plants. And over here, begonia cuttings that look okay. I'm loving the flowers. What's not to love about that? But some of the foliage on some of them are curling. And I'm not sure why that is. So that looks a little yucky. And these are all trailing begonias. Like I said, that is so pretty. And this shelf right here, I've reduced the light to between 7 and 8 hours. I just found that it was getting too much light. The coleus was scorching up here. The other ones are doing fine with about, I'd say, 12 to 13 hours, but this was really looking bad, and it's bounced back beautifully. So very happy with that. All these plants seem to be liking that. Love this coleus. This is a little bit of a slow grower, but look at that. And a lot of these I don't know the names of them. That's okay. These are just plants. I think this will be the 3rd year for having them, so. More coleus back there and there. This one I do know. I think it's called Festive Dance, and I don't know. It's not a favorite, but I keep growing it because it's pretty. Like this begonia here, so you can see. But Oops, I just tore that. And it's been consistent watering. I let my plants dry out between waterings, hopefully before they start wilting, which I've been a little bit bad about, but I don't want to have them saturated because then they stay wet. I have a fan going on in here to help with air circulation, and I was also having mold issues. So I've turned off my humidifier, and because I'm not going to be out in the garage. It was all over. So yeah, so that's why I've got fans going, and it's helped a lot. And I've been fertilizing every 2 weeks. But I also like to let the soil dry out because of fungus gnats. And like I said, I've seen a huge decline in them, so very happy about that. This begonia here is huge. I think it'll look glorious in a hanging basket. And then I love Plectranthus. It looks a little tough. This is the first year for taking cuttings. I mean, you can see a lot of leaves are gone, but we'll see what happens. But I love this plant. It grows very aggressively outside and indoors. Nothing beats growing like outdoors. I mean, artificial light is okay, but still. This is Purple Heart. I just have 2 of those back there. That's looking really good. Barely have to water that. I think it was 2 months before I had to water that one. So I've been struggling with my salvias. You can see I used to have an entire shelf of salvias, and I've gotten rid of a lot, and I'll show you. I can grow them outside like crazy. I can propagate them outside like crazy, but indoors I'm just struggling. But this one is absolutely beautiful. And this is one that I had up potted, but also added slow release fertilizer to the soil. So I am a huge believer in slow release fertilizer. It's amazing. And I have not fertilized this. I'm doing a test. So I'm seeing how long I can go without fertilizing it for it to still look this glorious. I'm just amazed. So yeah, so I have some other salvias back here that are looking I'm just keeping them. Hopefully I can get maybe a few cuttings. Fingers crossed I can get about a dozen. I would be happy with that. I do have a lot of plants, so I can't be too upset about it. I'm doing all my cuttings first, and then I'll go to my perennial seeds. More coleus. But yeah, so over here, this is the compost pile. All of these are salvias. They just did not look great. There was nothing that I could actually take a viable cutting from. The plants were yellowing, so I like to take cuttings from the most healthiest looking plant. And I was fertilizing. I thought, you know, it's a waste of time to keep babying these plants along when within, 2 weeks, I'm going to be starting all over. I'll be doing things a little bit differently, but like I said, I mean, it's not going to go to waste because they'll be in my compost pile. And then these are the containers. I reuse all of them. I just sterilize them first. And I've been bringing snow from outside to warm up to room temperature and using snow water to water my plants. And also I have a fish tank, so I just cleaned it and I'm using that water too. And then fertilizing once every 2 weeks, and that seems to be doing the trick. We will start over here. So I think that's it for my cuttings. So far I'm very happy with all my cuttings. So down here I pricked out a lot of my, not a lot, but some of my perennial seeds that I started. These were started December 20th, and these are Pallas Purple Heuchera. Look at how great they look, and they're coloring up. I just did this about a few days ago, and I would say they have at least tripled in size. I would say when I pricked them out, they kind of look like that little dude back there. So yeah, they are definitely happy. With the cold temps that we're having, there's a difference from, like right now, it's registering 59 degrees in here. I had to put my slippers on. My feet were definitely cold. But otherwise, I keep my garage plant room at 70 degrees. So Palace Purple Heuchera, love it. I hope it keeps doing well. And over here I have, you know, I love my Ladies Mantle, Alchemilla mollis. These are doing really great. There's some in there that are struggling, but that's okay. They all had a really nice root system when I pricked them out. It was a little tricky because they were all intertwined. And like I said, it's a really good root system, so very happy. I'm gonna stand up now. So over here, I have more perennial seeds that I've started. Some are doing better than others. This is a hardy geranium that I think there were 15 seeds in here and only one has germinated. These were a little spendy, so I'm a bit bummed by that. I do have one more package, but we'll see. The green on top is normal. It's just keeping it nice and moist for the seeds to germinate. It's not hindering the plants at all. And here my niece wanted to grow rosemary, so I think I have 3 little sprouts that came up. I forget what's in here. I have them all labeled with a Sharpie this time. And this is foxgloves. Foxgloves grow like a weed, so hopefully I didn't start them too early. But very impressed with the foxgloves. I want to say there's more over there. Here is peppermint. So if you've been following me, I thought I had one clematis seed germinate, but I have done 2 sowings and nothing germinated but this. So my 3rd sowing of the clematis tanjutica I have in the fridge for 3 weeks, and then I'll take it out and start the germination process, because considering this is the only one that came up, I don't think this is clematis. I really don't. I honestly, it looks like a beet to me. I mean, don't you think? Or some leafy green. It doesn't even look like clematis leaves. I mean, if this is a beet, it's probably the best one I've ever grown. But yeah, I don't think it's that. So hopefully February 14th, when I bring out the clematis, if they germinate, I'll definitely tell. I don't think that's it. But I'm still growing it because I don't know what it is. Let me know what you think it is. Yeah, I was a little heavy at sewing these foxgloves down here. Like, they're super tiny, kind of like pepper. Even, maybe pepper's even bigger than that. But more foxgloves. Over here I have lots of columbines. Some of these, like, these are ready to prick out, so I'll be doing that at some point. I did have another heuchera that the first sowing did not work out, but the second one, I have one here and one right there. So even if I can get 2, that's awesome. I think this is Jacob's Ladder, dwarf goat's beard, and then Japanese anemones. So doing okay. I'm trying to think if I want to do any more perennial seeds or just like do them again to have more, but I don't know, because at some point I'm going to be starting my annual seeds. And knowing me, I will probably prick out all of these foxgloves because that's just kind of my personality, that I want to save everything. But I don't know. That's a lot. But yeah, so that's how my perennial seeds have been going so far. I haven't done any annual seeds. I gotta definitely look at the packets and see. I might start my verbena because they're a little tricky. And I'm also thinking about starting my pansy seeds because maybe we'll have an early spring and they can tolerate some of the colder temps. That would be really neat. So yeah, so hopefully you liked my little plant room tour. And hopefully your cuttings are doing really good. And let me know if you've started any perennial seeds yet or annual seeds. And bye for now.